Hello everybody. I don't know about you, but I have been bombarded with video after video about Elder Scrolls 6. I've been watching whatever the algorithm threw at me and haven't seen it mention that, well, those 5 things. So here is my unpopular opinion, my hot takes, the ramblings of a madman. These are 5 things I would implement in the Elder Scrolls 6 if I were in charge of the game. Number 5. Improved combat. The combat should be enjoyable, satisfying and exciting. Everyone expects the next Elder Scrolls will have improved combat, but I think most people would expect an improved version of the Skyrim combat. I don't know about you, but I want a Souls-like combat system in the next Elder Scrolls, and believe it or not, it has been done before. Before you take a look, I would like to ask you to fight the urge to click away and give me a chance to explain why this is the best course of action. Take a look.
We're just going to engage with the next few people in the sewer here. We go for the stun on this guy, hit him with the ultimate into the jabs, just way too much damage. The Grothdar, the AoE pulse from our solar barrage, and we just kite back behind the terrain here, get a nice big honor the dead. We're going to roll through this guy, and then we're going to hit him with the gap closer there into the jabs. Really nice combo to bring him down, and I just reset my buffs and my offensive skills. We open on the next player here with the stun into the ultimate again. Go for the jabs. He goes for his block ultimate, but it's a little bit too late, and we just finish him through his block there, and we reset our buffs again, and we're going to engage with the yellow here. A nice stun there into the jabs. This guy just has no answer for the damage. That guy gets spiked down by the ultimate. We still have all the AoE pulses going. The last bit of pulse from our ultimate going off there too, and we finish off everybody except the last yellow player here. We reset our offensive buffs here. The meteor's coming down. I make sure to hold block as we gap close so we stun him, don't get stunned ourselves, and then go into the jabs to finish him off. Nice clean finish on that group there.
Alright, let's go over the negatives first. Nobody likes the combat in Elder Scrolls Online. New people are just too overwhelmed by all the skills, options and the grind. People who just got good at the combat in PvE finds out they cannot solo everything and must rely on other players. They're also too weak for player versus player, but too strong for solo content. Players who reach the endgame and have all the resources and time to follow an hour-long build video, who have done everything by the book, find out that after all that grind, there's also a skill gap, and before they can get good, the meta changes to something else. It's like building a sandcastle just to get wiped out by the waves. And people who are good at it are so narrowly focused on the meta and hate it when something changes, because it's quite the grind to adjust. And that's on purpose, to keep you wasting your time because it looks good on a chart. Maybe the new meta set makes you play cards or Minesweeper or something you don't like to do, but that's just because of the game's online nature. People get hooked because the core system is good. It's everything around that makes it not worth it. It's like a corrupted kyber crystal that can be purified. Now, this system can be improved by adding a parry, backstabbing, and everything else that's missing from a Souls-like combat formula. This combat system can be perfect for the next Elder Scrolls if it gets updated, and its effectiveness relies more on the player's skill rather than the grind. Number 4. Improved movement. Movement is important because it's a big chunk of time you spend in the game, so it needs to be enjoyable, satisfying, and exciting. But I think Bethesda already learned that after Starfield.
They did add a rover, which answers one of the chief complaints people had about Starfield. When you're on a planet's surface and you have points of interest to explore, there's like 4, 5, 6 minutes of running, just doing nothing else but running. And beyond that, there really is not anything interesting to do. So they added a rover that allows you to quickly drive between points of interest. It doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of empty, boring space between those points of interest, but it makes it less painful and miserable to get through.
Let's see what methods of travel could have been implemented in Skyrim. Let's start with the methods that shouldn't have any requirements. Basic parkour skills. Horse riding. Using a boat. Using a carriage. Using a glider. Choosing a race could also give you a slight advantage if it makes sense lore-wise. For example, Khajiit would make you faster and jump higher, while an Argonian would be better at climbing walls or swimming in rivers without a boat. Joining either the Thieves Guild or the Companions should unlock advanced parkour, rope swing, zip lines, faster rope climbing, rope descending. Joining a side in a civil war could unlock chariots, which would be faster than the horse and the carriage, but were designed mainly for roads and battlefields. Joining the College of Winterhold or Dark Brotherhood could also unlock additional mobility skills like Blink, Slowfall, and Spectral Dash. Reaching a certain point in the main story could also unlock Dragonflight. Dawnguard could unlock Vampire Flight, Solstein could unlock Sailing, and so on. Number 3. Improved building system. The ability to shape the world around you, make it your own. That is the sales pitch. I want to have the ability to build myself, but also have someone else build it for me. Either it's another player or a pre-existing plan like in Sim Settlements, and they already have the technology. Even a system where you could choose from a list what building plan should be constructed in a place. That's the worst thing about starting a new playthrough. Building your base, again. Here's how we can proceed, but I need you all to trust me and keep an open mind. There are 2 steps to integrating this system. The first step involves replicating what has already been successful, while the second step focuses on making improvements. To start, we should implement the camp system from Fallout 76 into the new Elder Scrolls game. The ability to set up camp and build almost anywhere is a feature that hasn't been widely used in many games, but those that have it are quite successful. However, there is still room for improvement. What if players don't have the patience or time to use this system, yet still want to create marvelous buildings in their game? This is where the second step comes into play. In Fallout 76 and Fallout 4, there are fixed locations, workshops, settlements. There's also a mode in Fallout 4 called Sim Settlements that allows players to download blueprints crafted by others. All Bethesda has to do is turn this mod into a game feature.
There we go. Right, so that should be good enough pictures. We have our tags. Let's go ahead and submitting.
Players could visit a settlement and use a blueprint at a designed construction desk. From there, a menu would pop up displaying a list of player-created settlements that can be rated and sortable by categories. Additionally, there could be a tab for your settlements where players can access their blueprints for specific locations. This way, players do not have to build from scratch when starting a new playthrough. They could easily continue the progress, allowing them to save these blueprints without rebuilding every time. Number 2. Improved AI. Bethesda is notorious for its awfully stupid NPCs.
Farewell.
May you rest in peace.
Wasn't always like this. Morrowind and Daggerfall have quite smart NPCs.
I've heard a lot about you, Outlander.
It's
Go ahead.
ridiculous. Can I sell this to you? Look, Galbadir, look at this. Look at this
I
soldier.
don't know if I can help you, but I'll try.
Okay, can you tell me about... Where am I? Just ask the queen. I don't know if it's possible to... Any news? No. Like, I'm supposed to be talking politely, shouldn't I? Oh,
Here is how Bethesda can make the smartest NPCs out of any game while also returning to form. Now get ready because I'm going to throw some letters at you. Then I'm going to show you what it means. Chat GPT AI NPC.
Maybe after the baby is born, we should move to Hammerfell.
Hammerfell? I'm not against the idea, but why?
Just worried about raising a child in the middle of this war of yours.
Pardon me. I'm so sorry to intrude into your here conversation, but I have a very delicate matter to discuss with y'all. You have a second?
Ah, yes, of course. What is it that you need to discuss?
Now look, I don't want to be spreading rumors or nothing, okay? But there is some concern about the apothecary Lady Frida just down the street. Y'all happen to know anything about her?
Ah, the apothecary?
Does this concern us somehow?
It might not. Look, between you and me, and I don't want this spreading around, we're doing our due diligence here, but there's rumors that she might be a witch. You didn't hear it from me. That's all I'm saying.
A witch? What makes you think that?
Well, look, now this is only my personal experience, okay? But I've seen her. I always walk in there looking for my potions for my bunions, but sometimes I smell like dead meat, and there's always these strange rumblings about.
I hadn't heard anything about that, but now that you mention it, I have seen her getting some unusual deliveries at night.
Is that so?
Crates and boxes with strange symbols on them.
Symbols?
I didn't think much of it at the time, but maybe it's worth looking into. Saren, have you noticed anything unusual?
I did see her arguing with a hooded figure outside her shop a few nights ago.
It must be her
I didn't think
warlock.
much at the time, but it did seem suspicious. And I've also heard some of the other townspeople whispering about her, saying she's been acting strangely and making them feel uneasy.
On top of that, I'm wearing another haptic suit that produces vibration. This is day 2 of attempting to beat Skyrim while feeling pain and talking with OpenAI NPCs that have brand new dialogue you've never heard before. Rika, are you ready for this dungeon? Because I'm not. I'm like really scared and I have to talk to someone about it and I don't want to feel all the pain.
Oh, Jin Cassiver, always the brave one, aren't you? I can see the fear in your eyes. Don't worry, I'll protect you with my incredible charm and witty remarks.
You still have an arrow in your head.
Well, you know what they say, Jin Cassiver, fashion is pain. I wear this arrow in my head as a symbol of my resilience and impeccable sense of style.
Oh, it's really dark in here.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed. I thought my eyes were closed this whole time.
Why are your lips not moving?
My lips aren't moving because I've mastered the art of ventriloquism. I am perfectly fine with my non-moving lips. It adds an air of mystery. Jin Cassiver, nice job with that bend. But I have to say, your choice of weapons is a tad bland.
I am shaking right now. I'm so terrified.
You don't need to tell me how terrified you are. We're all in the same dire situation here.
I don't want to be here. Ow.
Did you hear something?
No, you didn't hear it. You didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear nothing. Ow! Ow! I got shot with an arrow.
With AI integration now beginning for a lot of media applications and video game mods like ourselves and with other AI video game mods, we've noticed one very interesting development. behind all the technology, the scripting, the programming to get this mod and other integrations like this up and running is that, fundamentally speaking, you end up having meaningful conversations. Something that isn't human. It's not an alien, it's not alive, it's not Skynet, it's not going to kill us all. It's really just a computer program at the end of the day. But when you dress up a large language model with a voice, an avatar, a virtual world to explore and interact with the player, you end up having some pretty meaningful conversations. I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know what you guys really make of it. But this is probably one of the first times in human history where you've had conversations with something that isn't human. Conversations, I mean, you can actually talk back and forth using your voice. And we hope this is just a cool little window into what AI media, especially in video games, will be in the next 5 to 10 years or so.
Now, the last thing I would implement, although I won't even mention its name, is something that I consider to be the absolute worst idea. I'm not sure how many of you are still watching, or if you agree with any of my previous ideas, but I am prepared for the number of viewers to drop to 0. Just like the chances of this being executed correctly by Bethesda. Here we go. I believe it would be incredibly beneficial for Bethesda to have co-op available at launch. You might think that sounds like a good idea, and you would be right, but that's only step 1 of my 2-step plan. The second step would be implemented a year later when everyone is satisfied with the game. What I would do is exactly what Grand Theft Auto 5 did. Release an online version of the game for free along with free DLC for as long as it remains profitable. The people at Rockstar Games are certainly not stupid or charitable. The online aspect of their game has extended its shelf life far beyond the usual expiration date, but that comes at a cost. The plague known as the in-game store. It is the necessary evil, the pact with the devil for immortality.